Hello and welcome to the Georgia State Fair. My name is Peter Bossenberg and I am one of the Georgia Grown Executive Chefs for 2020. I'm here in Augusta, Georgia at Helms College, where I'm currently a chef instructor, and we're in one of our beautiful cooking labs that we have here at Helms College. Today we're going to do a demonstration. We're going to be using Georgia beef, and as you can see right here, we have Georgia beef from the Southern River Farms All Natural, and it's going to be a prime rib that I'll be demonstrating for you today. And we'll have a coffee rub with that. I know on the recipe it says Kona coffee, wasn't able to get that, so I got coffee from Kauai. We also are going to be using some Georgia olive oil, Georgia fingerling potatoes, tomatoes. We have some extra stuff that I'll try to sneak in there too for you from Georgia. It's just a wonderful, wonderful time of year here in Georgia to cook, and because of all the fresh produce, all the proteins that are coming in from all over the state. So I'm looking forward to that. So with that Georgia beef that I'm going to do, I'm also going to do some zucchini noodles, and I'm going to do some roasted fingerling potatoes. All right, so we want to get those fingerling potatoes in the oven as soon as possible because they're going to take the longest. So I'm going to start with that. Behind me, you're going to see a rationale oven that we have here, which is a combination oven of, you can be roasting, it can be steaming, or it can actually be both. And on the other side, we have a traditional stovetop with our regular oven down here. So, but I'm going to be using the rationale because it'll cook those potatoes a lot quicker for us. And let's get started. So, I have some Georgia potatoes right here. And I have our Georgia olive oil that we'll be using, and that's coming from the farms out in Lakeland, Georgia. And let's get one of these bowls on there. All right, so the process for getting the potatoes cut is you actually have to have a sharp knife. All right? So as I tell my students and staff, dull knife, dull chef. So make sure you have a sharp knife. It makes things a lot easier. So I'm going to cut these fingerling potatoes on the bias, like in thirds, all right, and keep them simple. You can do them whole if you want to. I'll take a little bit longer to cook off. All right, so these are beautiful potatoes. So does everybody know how to sharpen a knife on a steel? One of those basic things. I mean, real quick. I'll wipe this one off. Some people come down like this. Do it that way, it's safe. The big thing you have to remember is keep your thumb behind this border right here, because you don't want the knife to slip into it. And I just pull away. Some people come in. But again, you need to have a sharp knife when you're cooking. It's going to be really simple. We're just going to put some salt and pepper on these, along with the olive oil coming from Lakeland. All right. So I have some ground pepper right here that I'm using. And then I have some salt. This isn't iodized salt. This isn't kosher salt. This is actually Malon sea salt. So it's a lot flakier, gives you a lot more flavor, okay? So that's Maldon salt that we use. Then coming in, just need a little bit of oil. You just need to coat the potatoes. You don't need to soak them. Then get a spatula, all right? Toss them up. If you want, you can put fresh herbs in there, add whatever fresh herbs you want to do, some garlic. I'm just keeping it pretty simple. We have a lot of allergies these days. Salt and pepper doesn't seem to be allergic to anybody, but garlic is, different herbs are. So right now I'm just keeping it simple with nice salt and pepper. So I have a sheet pan here, and with that sheet pan I have it lined with parchment paper. And then I'm just going to put the potatoes right on there, spread them out. And then we're going to put them into the oven. All right, I have this oven cranked up at 400 degrees. Oh, let's go this way, do a little rinse. I'm going to slide them in. Okay, we'll let them go. I can set the timer on it if I want, which I probably will. They should be done in about 15-20 minutes. Okay, 15 to 20 minutes. All right. What do you say we get into some beef? You ready for some beef? Okay. Want to change out the cutting boards? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. This is a beautiful prime rib loin coming from Georgia. And as I say over here, Southern River Farms. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece of meat. The thing that's really nice about it is the people at Southern River Farms and FPL is distributor. They come to the school, they help us out. They invite us out to the ranch, and it's driving distance. We go out and we purchase the beef and we bring it back, and then we rotate it. So we do a 21-day age on it. So we're buying 3 weeks out, and then we're rotating that all the time here at Edgar's Grill, which is part of Helms College and the Goodwill. We're part of Goodwill here in Central Georgia, and with that, the proceeds that go from Edgar's Grill actually help lower the tuition cost for the students coming in and getting their culinary degree. And so with that, FPL really helps us out with beef and shows us what they have, and they come in and do demos for us, and it's really wonderful for them. And this beef is literally gorgeous. All right, so this is one of your primal cuts. All right, it's beautiful. All right, and we're going to cut a nice sliced ribeye. Oh boy. Might have to take this one home for me. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of meat. And we're going to trim this down a little bit. You don't want all that fat, okay? You don't want all the fat on it. So we're going to trim this down. I'm going to take part of the tail off. And when we do trim here at Helms College, we do the meat fabrication for Edgar's Grill. And when we trim all this, right, we get a loin, be it a beef tenderloin, a beef strip loin, or this rib loin, we save these trimmings. And why would we save those? Well, a couple reasons. One, we can grind it all down and make burgers. Today we just used filet pieces, and we put a teriyaki blend on it, and we skewered it. We're gonna make little kebabs. But it's really good when the guests get to come in, either have a great ribeye, or they can have our burger. And our hamburger is 100% either New York, it's mixed New York strip, ribeye, and filet, and you get that burger here. And that's what you can do with yours. So if you buy a loin, a tenderloin, a beef loin, or a strip loin, all those trimmings save, right? Save. You cut your steaks, cryovac them or seal them up and save them, but all that trimming you can grind and make your own ground beef. Okay, so we have this ribeye right here. I'm going to put it on this plate to show you. I'm going to bring this guy downstairs here. I have a sanitation bucket down here. That's why I'm down here wiping. So sanitation is key. I also have another bucket down here to wash my hands. So, very important, right? Sanitation. So I'm going to bring this down. do the rub. What do you say? We're gonna do the rub. So, with this rub, 3 ingredients. I have this Kauai coffee, come from Kauai. I have brown sugar, and again, we're going to use the salt. So this is the rub. If you want to measure, half a cup of coffee. This all depends on how much coffee you like. If you like a nice big coffee flavor, put a little bit more in if you want. But then you can also put the brown sugar in. I'm going to do a half and half. All right, I'm going to do a half and half. I got a little bit more brown sugar in there. So I'm going to do a half and half. I know the recipe says 2/3, 1/2, but again, I'm going to go half and half with this one. Now, using this salt, remember what this salt is? It's not iodized, it's not kosher, it's Maldon, right? Maldon salt. Got a little whisk, and then we're going to just whip it up here, okay? Mix it up. Try to keep it in the bowl, not all over the place. So again, it's your coffee, and what kind of coffee you want to put in there is it's ground coffee. And you use dark brown sugar if you want. We have the light brown sugar. Putting the salt in there, you can use any salt you'd like. My preference is Maldon salt because it gives it a lot more flavor, more intense. So you're shaking and stirring, shaking and stirring. Okay, so looking at a nice blend right there. Now we're going to put it on the steak. Again, a beautiful ribeye, gorgeous marbling. It is a primal cut. It is prime beef. All right, all natural. All right, it's a gorgeous product. The guests really, really, really love it. So I'm going to put it on there. We're going to pat it down. Going to flip it over. So anybody out there enjoy wine? So a good wine to go with this. If you're really into big, strong wines, I say that because a ribeye is a big beef anyway, but then when you're putting this Kona coffee or the Kauai coffee rub on it, what I would recommend, and it's what I have at home, is I use Amarone. So a nice Italian red wine coming out of the Venice area, northeast. All right, so that's what I use for my beverage of choice when I'm having a nice ribeye. Wash my hands. It's also nice to have a wife that's a fellow chef, you know, so we do pretty good at home. The kids still like their chicken fingers and all that, but we just had mussels the other day, and they enjoyed that. We had some nice Georgia shrimp that came in that I was able to get, and they really, really enjoyed that. So clean as you go. All right. So with that, we're going to let this steak rest. All right. You don't want to cook a steak that's coming right out of the refrigerator. All right. We are not going to put this on a charred grill. We're actually going to use the cast iron skillet. And the cast iron skillet, got to turn on. I'm using an induction burner up here because I'd rather I get to talk to you instead of having my back to you. So I'm using an induction burner. But getting back to the steak, you want to make sure that it gets to room temperature. All All right, it's going to take about maybe 20-30 minutes to get the room temperature when it comes out of the refrigerator, so you have to plan that correctly. Remember when you cook a steak and it sticks all the time? Well, it's because it's coming right out of the refrigerator, and then it's not room temperature, so it's really cold, and then it's going to get that heat and it's going to contract and it's going to stick. So if you have a nice room temperature steak and you put it on the grill, then it'll cook evenly and it won't stick to your grill. Okay? So we're going to put some Georgia olive oil in the pan. I think I'm going to wait. Let's do our noodles. What do you think about that? You want to do the noodles? Want to do the noodles? All right, we're going to bring some noodles in. I have to get this up to heat anyway, up to temperature. I know it's not fancy schmancy, but it's pretty convenient, and it's one way to get your children to eat vegetables. And that's how we do it at the house. We have to do this crazy stuff with the kids. And what I did is I got a zucchini, cut the end off. We're going to put it right in here, bring it in, and then we're going to rotate it. And if you can see that, coming over here, get nice long strings, right? Pretty neat. And just go through. We can put these, see how long they are? Really easy to do. You can get this spiral, I think I bought it at Walmart. And I just went over, a couple bucks. Hey, it was worth it having my kids eating vegetables, right? Keep it going. And my children also like the end of it. They always do a battle for it. And it comes out like this, and they love hummus, so they go in and they dip it into the hummus. But yeah, so here's our noodles. All right, so this is getting hot now. I'll put the noodles back over here for later. I'll keep these out front for you. I'll move this down below. So really, nice and easy. Remember, when you're trying to touch something to see if it's hot, don't put your hand like this, because it hurts when you burn it. I mean, it'll hurt if you use the back. I use the back of my hand, because yeah, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to be in the way of doing things later on. So you feel the back of it, it's hot. Right? It's hot now. That's the other beauty about induction burners. Uh-oh, there's smoke out here. All right, I'm gonna pull this to the back here. Pull it off. I got a vent, so it's venting out. Get my tongs. Put the steak on. I'm going to wipe this off. It's smoking. A little too much, huh? Get it back underneath the vent here. So we're going to get this searing. That's what we're doing, we're searing it. I'm going to turn the fan on. So hopefully it's not too loud. That's working there, okay. But when you're searing it, let it go, let it sear. And the smoke that you see is actually a beautiful smell of coffee and brown sugar. So it's got a really great aroma to it. It's a great way to get your guests at home to start smelling that coffee and the brown sugar, and they'll get excited because they know they're going to be eating this in a little bit. Yeah. All right. So we have that. And I also have to cut up some Georgia tomatoes. Got some great tomatoes here. What do you think? Not bad? A nice char right there. Oh. All right, I'm gonna flip this over. Looking very good indeed. So we'll let that cook. I turned it down, so we're gonna let it cook. I'm gonna take a look at the potatoes over here. Give them a shake or two. I think we're ready. Can you see those? Nice golden brown and delicious. I have a warming oven down here and I'll put them in the warming oven. Hot food needs to be hot, cold food needs to be cold. Looking beautiful. All right, so with your tomatoes, we're just going to cut them in half. And we're going to use these tomatoes when we cook off the zucchini to add some color. So we'll have zucchini noodles, salt and pepper, some tomatoes. We're going to put some butter in there. Okay. So that's about eight tomatoes, you know. So again, nice Georgia grown heirloom grape tomatoes. These out front. What do you think? Not too bad? We're going to check this out on the other side. Looking good. So what I'm going to do here, just so we can speed things up a little bit, I'm going to put this in the oven and I'm going to finish it in the oven. All right? So, you notice I touched it, right? I touched it. So it's a little on the rare side. And everybody says, you know, you touch your fingers. So if you touch the inside of your thumb right there, it's jiggly. So it's like on the rare. Index finger, we're going about mid-rare. Middle finger, medium, medium well, index as well. Okay? So that's one way people do it. After 40 years in the business, I have it down to a touch. So we're going to put this in the hot oven. We're going to get that to come up to about medium rare is what I'm shooting for. Put this down here. All right, let's clean up again. Got that coffee all over here. Woo. So here I have a saute pan. And again, it's using an induction burner, induction. They can do that now in residential homes right now. You can have induction burners, but you have to have specific pans that actually are conducive to the, you can't use an aluminum pan. You have to use stainless steel or stainless steel aluminum, which is that, this is what that is. I got it from Volrath. Volrath makes a good product there. I've also cooked down at the Pinnacle Club in Augusta, Georgia. Really great private club here in Augusta. And we're on the 17th floor there, and the whole kitchen was electric. So I had 8 of these, and that was my saute station. And I wasn't so keen about it when I first got there, but boy, does it really cook fast. It cooks great, even heat. It was really, really, really nice. So we're gonna do our zucchini noodles now, right? Because the potatoes are already done. Steak's cooking, right? Should be done in a couple minutes. We did our tomatoes to put in with the zucchini, right? So we're getting this pan hot. Do you know what the words are for getting things together in the kitchen? It's called mise en place, right? Mise en place. And that's what we did prior. I had everything organized, ready to go, and that helps me with this demo, and that's how I teach my students. You get everything cooking, because we call it a la minute cooking. In a restaurant, everything's done to the minute, and if you have your mise en place, you have everything ready to go, then it's a lot easier to cook for the guests. So I'm going to turn this vent off again. All right, be right back. Maybe you can hear me a little bit better now. Sorry about that. But yeah, so induction burning is really, really, really nice. I worked on yachts before and out on the Gulf of Mexico on oil rigs, and they used all electric, but it wasn't induction. I mean, they weren't induction. So now they are, but when I did it way back when, way back when I was going to school, Noah was in my yearbook. But here we go. We got the zucchini noodles. We got the oil right there, Georgia oil. Get that going. We're going to put our tomatoes in. We're going to put that Maldon salt again in here. Some pepper. So we're going to saute these up. Saute means to jump, right? So your pan has to be hot. Don't put the food in a cold pan and then bring it up. It's not the proper way of doing it. I mean, you could, but it takes a little bit longer. So, and this takes really quick with these noodles. The noodles come out really, really, really nice and fresh. And that's it. That's how quick it goes. You don't want to overcook the tomatoes. You just want to heat those up because you have carryover cooking. You know what carryover cooking is? Well, everything you cook and you take it off the heat is going to continue to cook. And sometimes it cooks from 5 degrees to 15 degrees more, all right, after you take it off. Okay? Let's take a look at those potatoes. Ah, look at these. They're beautiful. We're going to slide these into the bowl. I'm going to give it a little butter. All right, a little butter. Everything tastes better with butter, right? And I think I'm going to put a little butter in with the zucchini noodles. Everything tastes better with butter, right? So I'm going to taste this around. Looking good. Nice coat on it. You don't want to drench them in butter. You just want enough butter in there just to coat it and give it the flavor. All right, so we got that. Perfect. Keep this warm back here. Now I'm going to pull out the steak. So we're going to let that rest a little bit. This is off. Okay, this is off. We're going to let it rest. I'm actually going to take it out of this. Yeah. Does that look good? Yes, chef. Okay, if you're wondering where I got this pan, it's actually got a coating on the outside. It's a cast iron skillet, Beth Bath & Beyond, you know? It was really nice. We use these for service, and that's what we're going to use today. I'm going to plate it up on this, right? So, something different. Instead of using a regular plate for service, we're actually going to use a cast iron skillet, right? You can serve it, slice it a lot. You can slice it and put it on there. You can just keep it whole. At the Pinnacle Club, I had a 48-ounce porterhouse steak that I placed in here. We did, what was it? I think it was like a 60-some tomahawk, the big tomahawk chop. Ooh, awesome. It was really, really, really good. So we're gonna do that. So we got the potatoes. So this skillet has been warm on the back there. You see that, what we're doing? We're gonna put that right in the middle, a third of the way up. We're gonna put our wonderful zucchini noodles. Put those right there. With those great Georgia tomatoes. Woo-wee! Looking good. Now for the beef. So again, you can put the beef right on, like that, and serve it that way if you like. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it on the bias. Turn this around. You see how beautiful that is? Oh my goodness. Woo! Woohoo! Wish you were here to enjoy. Not really, because I'm going to enjoy it. So here we go. Our Georgia grown coffee rub prime ribeye coming from Southern River Farms. We have zucchini noodles with tomatoes and the roasted potatoes with that. I'm gonna put a little green in there if you want. I got some parsley right here. A little green. And of course, more butter. All right. Put that right there. Look how beautiful that is. All right, Georgia grown. Georgia grown prime beef with a nice coffee rub on there, and it's bon appetit. All right, thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.